I'm about to circle up with 3 musical moms to talk motherhood and also making a difference in our homes and communities. These 3 talented women who make up the gospel group Mercy River juggle roles as musicians and moms and write about their experiences raising young families on their blog. Whitney Permann, Brooke and Soni Mueller are joining me in the studio to share a few ideas to motivate you to step forward and be a force for good. We're always like, what are we, hens? Chatting, catching up before the commercial break. It's so good to see you, ladies. Yeah, you too. And a big announcement since I saw you last, a new album came out.
Yeah,
Who can be up to speed on that?
I can tell you about that.
Please.
It's called Step Forward. So this is probably our first message-driven album. It is all about encouraging women to step forward in their homes and in their communities and in their lives.
Powerful message that you put into the form of some beautiful music. How fun was this to write, Whitney?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, because we feel really passionate about every message, and it was really fun to put it to some beautiful music.
Yeah. I love what you ladies do, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm sure. The music comes to life in our hearts, in our ears, but then you put to paper through your blog words that inspire women to kind of take the messages they're hearing and move forward with that, thus the name of the album. So the goal with this would be what? For women to listen and
be able to step forward in their lives, in their homes, and help their kids, their friends, everyone. Yeah,
just make it better.
We've pulled some lyrics today that I'm going to, listen, and I'll ask you each to kind of respond and maybe help carry forward that message like you talked about. The song Be One has a message that you hope inspires women to sort of give of themselves, so let's listen and talk on the other side.
We pray but never move, we say but never do. It's time to get our hands dirty. Be loved, there's a whole lot of hurting. Calling our hearts, calling our hell, calling our feet to take a stand. Why sit around and wait for a miracle to come when we can be one?
Okay, I love that. We say but we never do. We pray but we never move. Brooke, what's the takeaway there?
My favorite line in there is, why sit around and wait for a miracle when we can be one ourselves? I think that we kind of get frozen by our insecurities and our fear, and so we get nervous to step forward in service because we feel like, what do I have to give, you know? Brene Brown even said, I think we're more scared of our light than our darkness because we're scared of what we are not good enough at, you know? But I think miracles don't have to be this big, huge end world hunger type of a thing. That can be something small, like making a difference in people's lives, or small little steps every single day.
You've got a challenge, in fact, to help women kind of shake out of that paralysis, if you will, and that's to just identify your own gift, whatever it is. For you ladies, it's music and many other things I know, but it can start with those smaller internal gifts.
Yeah, when you think about the way that you have been served in your life, there are always these little things. They're never these huge monument type of service acts. Do you know what I mean? So
it's funny when you sit in church or even in a girlfriend group at lunch and you talk about meaningful moments, doesn't it always come down to a smile for somebody?
It is.
I mean, you hear that over and over, a text message, something like that. Powerful message through a beautiful song. That was the first time I've heard it. You guys are amazing. Is it still weird to listen to your own music, or did you get over it?
Sometimes it's the beginning, and then we get
you get over it. Okay, this next song, you sing about real life a lot in the album, which I love, and not the perfect life, not the polished life, but the real, authentic, nitty-gritty days of motherhood. We're going to listen to a portion of the song titled If We're Honest. Here it is.
I'm a mess and so are you. We build walls nobody can get through. Yeah, it may be hard, but the best thing we could ever do, bring your brokenness and I'll bring mine, 'cause love can heal what hurt divides, and mercy's waiting on the other side. If we're honest.
Beautiful. Your harmony, because it almost has a lullaby ring to it, like a soft, sweet, but we're talking about messes, right? So, Soni, how can we put our messes out there in an appropriate way and be more authentic?
Well, we need to choose to be vulnerable, and that's really hard, as we all know. I think as women, our self-worth is tied to how we think others see us. And so sometimes we'll create what I call the Instagram corner, which is the one corner in your house that looks cute, it's actually clean, has good lighting, and the rest of the house is a mess.
That's not every corner of your home? What? Are you kidding me?
The rest of the house is a disaster. And that's okay, because all of our lives are imperfect. But I think that we tend to, well, it's our natural tendency to make our struggles our secrets. So, yeah. So like 4 years ago, I was really sick, and finally they diagnosed me with chronic fatigue syndrome. And before I was diagnosed, I didn't think this was a real thing. I thought it was a made-up illness. So all of a sudden, I'm feeling so stupid. Like, I'm worried that everybody's going to think I'm a wuss or lazy or something. So I was very embarrassed. I didn't want to tell anybody because I thought they would think that I thought that it wasn't a real thing. But a friend encouraged me, you got to be open and tell people. And so I'm glad that she did, because I did do that. And it was a big release for me. First of all, it was an emotional release. And second of all, it helped people come out of the woodworks that were suffering from similar things.
Sure.
And so we were able to connect. So it was almost like me telling my story gave permission for other people to tell their story and help everybody to feel that we're not alone, that are struggling with these same things.
I was chatting with a girlfriend just last week, and we were talking about motherhood, right? Common topic that we land on, especially around here and in my life as well. And she was saying, you know, I love being a mom, and then came my third child. And I still love being a mom, but that third child is making me work for it. And she said it's now opened me up to connect with other women who have challenges in motherhood, whether it be special needs or just difficult children. But the catch is not all of us will be diagnosed with that illness. Not all of us will deal with that difficult child. So you do have to open yourself up in order for other people to understand what's out there.
Be able to step forward and come out with their things. So,
so Brooke talked about how sometimes we need to step forward and be the help, but sometimes we need to accept the help and let others help us.
Absolutely. So true. It's both so true.
Requires stepping forward.
Yeah. I love you ladies for the real talk you bring. This is so good. We've got another song to listen to. This is Feels Like Home, and it sort of touches that mom heart in all of us. Let's listen.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but look close and you'll see.
I'm just sitting here complimenting you ladies on how beautiful they sound. The message is powerful, but so is the sound. What's the takeaway there, Whitney?
So the world is crazy. I feel like it's insane right now, you know? So the mama bear in me kind of wants to make my home a refuge against all of those crazy things, because our kids have a lot to deal with. They have to navigate social media, they have friend issues, there's pressures at school. And so the question is, how does my family feel when they walk in the door? Are they feeling judged, criticized? Are they being yelled at? Do they feel like they can be themselves? And if not, what's one thing I can do to make home a safer place for them?
I love that.
Yeah, so, and that's gonna look different for everyone. So right now we're remodeling our home and living in it, which I would never advise.
Yeah, I hear you there.
It's basically the worst idea.
You're in a construction zone.
In the history of bad ideas. So everything's torn apart. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's kind of stressful, but I don't want my kids to absorb that. So I'm really conscious of how do I make this feel like home and feel safe. So one thing I'm doing is just touching them more. I heard that children need 8 physical touches per day. So, and
you multiply that by a few kids.
Oh, I know. and I can't keep track. I can't keep track. But my 2 oldest are teenage boys, and they don't want to snuggle with me on the couch. I don't know why.
Come on, guys.
So I'm just trying every time they pass me to either, you know, squeeze their shoulder, pat their back, something.
Little punch of the shoulder.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that just that little change will help them to feel the security that is lacking in our home right now.
Well, it gives you some control. When I was a young adult, I remember my mom telling me all the time when life was going down and up and down and up, she kept saying, you're in control, even though sometimes we're not. And you turn on the news or the TV and we don't feel in control.
But you felt that at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can take control in your own home, I think, as a mom.
Yeah, exactly. That's our power.
Love you, ladies. Great messages.